Fear is nature's warning signal to get busy, and after watching the State of the Union last night, I bet a lot of people are about to get busy. It was a total dumpster fire. If you missed it, definitely check it out. It is like nothing, I promise, you have ever seen before. So after taking in the State of our Union, I wanted to share with you guys a few tips to start preparing. When you start to think about preparedness, you have to think about the rule of 3. You can live 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, and 3 weeks without food. I like to keep that in mind when I'm prioritizing things. That way I can keep things really focused and clear in my mind. So my first priority is water. The CDC recommends that you have 1 gallon of water per person for 14 days. That's 14 gallons of water per family member for drinking and for cooking. That does not take into account animals that need to be watered. If you have animals, or garden, if you're growing your garden, you're going to want to have that watered. So that is another thing to think about when you're thinking about your water storage, is how are you going to store water for those other things that you have, not just yourself. Because if you do own animals, you have to take responsibility for their well-being, and making sure that they have an adequate amount of water at all times is necessary. I would also suggest to invest in a water filter. This doesn't have to be a super expensive water filter. I have a Berkey, which is a little pricey, but they do have cheaper water filters that are a kind of equivalent to that. If I needed to have water and I didn't have water stored, I could just go out to the pond or the creek and get water and put it in my Berkey, and I would feel fine drinking that. So that is another thing that you can think about if you're willing to invest in that. The next thing that I really focused on was food. And you're going to want to buy things that your family is going to eat. Don't go out and buy a bunch of Spam or canned ham because some prepper told you that that's what you need to buy because it has a long shelf life. Because that stuff's kind of disgusting. And if you don't like it, you're not going to eat it. I mean, if there's a zombie apocalypse, yeah, I mean, you would probably eat it in the case of a zombie apocalypse. But like in your ordinary everyday emergency situation, you probably are not going to eat that canned ham, and the possibility that it's going to go to waste is pretty high. I will not lie, I don't like canned ham, and I have a couple things of canned ham, although that's, you know, just in case there's a zombie apocalypse. And it makes good dog food, so keep that in mind. If you don't know if you like Spam, buy a thing of Spam and try it out. Try it a couple different ways. If you discover that you could eat it, then stock up on Spam. If you don't like it, then stock up on something that you do like. That is my opinion. I'm not down for wasting my time and my money and my energy, so I'm not going to buy a bunch of stuff if I don't know if I like it. I like to buy in bulk. I like to hit sales. If they got stuff that I like that's on sale, I like to buy it then because it's going to save me money. Things are really expensive. Going to the grocery store is kind of a painful experience these days, so anytime that you can save money, take advantage of that. You want to store your food properly. You don't want to store a bunch of canned food in really hot weather or really cold weather because it will go bad. Again, a waste of time and money and energy. I'm just not for it. I can't do it, so I have to be really meticulous about rotating my pantry, making sure I put labels on everything and dates on everything. That way I can clearly see what needs to be used and what is going to be good. Next, I focus on non-food items. And the most important of those is medications. If I don't have my medication, I get very, very ill. It would not be good if I did not have my medication. So I require it, and I need to focus on making sure that I have plenty of medication on hand. I'll be honest. When you talk to your doctor about getting extra medication, they kind of look at you like you're a crazy person. Find a way. If you require medication, make sure you have it. Also, stock up on the over-the-counter medications that you need. If you take allergy medication or heartburn medication, whatever it is that you require, make sure you have plenty of those on hand. And any of the supplies like for the CPAP machines or blood sugar testing supplies, any of the supplies that you need, make sure you have extra of those as well. Next is going to be a first aid kit. And I am not talking about like just band-aids and gauze. I'm talking about the kind of first aid kit that if you get your arm bit in the zombie apocalypse and have to get it cut off, that you can deal with that in a clean and sterile fashion. I'm talking about suture kit. You know, what if you have to give somebody stitches? You need to be prepared. even if it's not a zombie apocalypse, to give somebody the kind of help that they would require in a hospital if it wasn't possible to get to a hospital in an emergency situation. Obviously, you're not trying to learn how to do surgery on people, and that's not what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is have a really well-stocked first aid kit. Next is personal hygiene products. We all remember the great toilet paper shortage during the pandemic. Everybody was trying to buy toilet paper and there was no toilet paper. So make sure you have plenty of hygiene products. You know, you're going to want toothpaste, toothbrush, soap, any kind of feminine products that you may require. Make sure you stock up on those too. You're going to want to make sure you have a light source, flashlights, candles, oil lamps. Make sure you have plenty of batteries. I have this one right here in the window right now actually charging. This is a solar light. It has a solar panel on the back. It has a light in the front, and it also has a power bank where I could charge my phone. I think it was like $10 at Harbor Freight. It's a cool little lamp, and it even has a little stand so it sits up. It's really handy, and I use it all the time, so I just leave it sitting in the window to charge when I'm done. Something like that is definitely a good thing to have. Just a solar power bank that doesn't have a lot, but it's a bonus because it has a light, right? You're going to need a cooking device, something to cook on, a camp stove, a grill, a wood stove. It's something to cook on just in case you don't have a way, like electricity. I have an electric stove. I would not be able to cook if the electricity went out. I mean, I could on my wood stove. I could cook still. Hand tools are a really good thing to buy whenever you see them. You're not going to have electricity necessarily, so those power tools that you guys have are not going to work. So make sure you have, you know, the handheld kind, you know, the old-fashioned, a saw, you know. I don't really know a lot about tools, but like a screwdriver and the things that don't require electricity. You're going to want a way to defend yourself. A popular saying is, a prepper without a firearm is just a convenience store. And that's all I want to say. Take it as you will. Seeds. I believe that seeds are vitally important to sustainability, and being able to grow your own food just increases your chances of survival. These are all really important things, okay? I cannot put these in order of importance. Although water and food, those are the most important. But learning new skills, it's vital. You can save seeds, but if you don't know how to grow a garden, what good is that? You can forage for food, but if you don't know how to forage for food, there is a possibility that you could eat something that makes you very sick. Possibly even worse. You could probably build a fire if you had to, but it would probably take you a really long time if you didn't have the knowledge and the know-how and the practice. So learning skills is going to be very, very important. In fact, the more skills that you know, the more important you'll be to your community. If everything collapses and this dumpster fire just burns out of control, people are going to focus on their community. Everything is going to shrink down and get smaller. All your resources are going to come from really close to where you're at. So establishing a good connection in your community and learning valuable skills that would make you an asset to that community is going to be one of the most beneficial things you can do. I don't care if it's sewing, if it's cooking, preserving your own food, gardening, first aid, that's real important. Maybe it's a mechanic stuff. Maybe it's like small engine repair. Who knows? Everybody has a skill set. In that same token, it doesn't really matter what skills you know. If you don't know how to filter your water or grow your own food or hunt or forage, if you don't know how to do those things, then obviously you won't survive because you require food and you require water. But there are skills beyond that, like I said, that can make you very valuable to a community. And when it comes to new skills, you can learn more and more. Another thing I'm going to suggest is just try to improve your health right now. Maybe start eating a little healthier, taking a walk. Being able to get up and move is going to be really important if there is an emergency situation. You don't want to be the slowest person running from a zombie herd during a zombie apocalypse. They're going to stop and they're going to eat you. You're going to die. You don't want to be that person. So get out, take a walk. Take a walk after dinner. Try to get yourself motivated to start moving around. You can take a self-defense class. I suggest you do that. Not only Are you getting the exercise that you need? You're learning how to defend yourself in a sketchy situation, which could be very beneficial for you. It helps build your confidence and it builds mental fortitude. You become just a stronger person. And I think that is a very beneficial thing, especially right now when it feels like the world is just attacking us. It's time to put on that spiritual armor, guys. Put it on. The devil is out there. Did you see the Grammys? Wow. I didn't watch it, but I've seen a lot of clips on the internet, of course, because you know that devil stuff goes viral. I don't have time for that, guys. Neither do you. It's time to get busy, get preparing, and hang on tight. This dumpster fire is burning out of control. I am worried about us, and I'm worried about y'all. I'm worried about me. If you guys saw any of the craziness over the last couple days, comment down below and tell me what you thought about it. I can't. It's like I have no words for what is going on. Just the pure evil just out on display everywhere. Anyways, I digress. I hope that this gets you feeling motivated to start preparing. If it isn't, go check out the State of the Union from last night, and it will put a lot of fire in your pants, and you'll want to go out and start getting cans of food today. If you guys found this helpful, hit that like button down below, and as always, it was wonderful hanging out with you guys. Till next time.